Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. What's going on? There is a new Evocati patch as Star Citizen plods towards an Alpha 3.23 release. We've got the latest this week in Star Citizen, some new subscriber flares come out for April, and we also have a couple of dev responses on mirrors and hit animations. So let's start with this week in Star Citizen. The team is making progress on Alpha 3.23's preparation to get it into your hands as soon as possible. A build of 3.23 went out to Evocati over the weekend, and we hope to open up access to larger PTU testing waves very soon. The Civilian Defense Forces battle against Xenothreat continues with the Overdrive Initiative as it enters Phase 3. As the Intel team decodes and uncovers more of Xenothreat's plan, new assignments will be issued to further fight back against Xenothreat's incursion. Keep an eye on your Mobiglass for the next steps, including information about potential new rewards. Also, in case you missed it, the latest offering from MISC is now available, the Raptor. It's a vehicle that's sure to sweep you off your feet, so don't brush off the announcement. So yeah, there's still more going on with the Overdrive Initiative, and it looks like there may be more rewards other than just an upgrade for the F7C Mark II to an F7A Mark II and the rental of an F7A. Once you complete them all, there may well be some other cool stuff like armor and, well, we'll have to wait and see exactly what Clan Imperium have got planned. The Raptor, check it out. We talked about it yesterday. It was a silly little street sweeper sort of vehicle. Very cool, very silly from CIG. Now, let's see what's going on this week. So, we've just had the subscriber promos for April for voluntary RSI subscribers. So, the ships of the month are the Hull A and the Hull C. So, if you are a Centurion, you get access to the Hull A. If you're an Imperator, you get access to both of them. And you can purchase those with some little extras if you are a sub. This month's sort of flair items for subs are interesting. For normal Centurions, you get a Hull A skin, which is blue and orange. Actually looks pretty cool. And an orange water bottle. Now, I'm not sure if this is a consumable, a flare item, or both. It says it's refillable. Imperators get a Hull C paint as well as that other stuff, and a quantum water bottle. This water bottle is actually pretty cool. It looks like a container for some raw Quantanium. Actually, it's quite a little cool prop. It potentially glows blue as well when you open it. I'm going to mess around with these once I actually have them. There's also a new Hull A and Hull C Trailblazer livery pack. So just some skins. They're grey and have a little red accents on. If you want to purchase them, they are in the sub shop. So yeah, Wednesday, we're going to have the latest roadmap update. So hopefully this is going to give us some interesting details of any other features that are turning up with 3.23, and if any features have slipped, because 3.23 is quite a meaty patch, and I can't see all of the content making it. I mean, it's quite possible that a lot of it, or most of it, or all of it will. It's just, you know, there's a huge amount there. And they look like they're putting more and more features in, so a lot of the time features will get pushed to later in the same cycle, things like that as well. On Thursday, we have a new Inside Star Citizen, which looks at the updated user experience in Alpha 3.23, this time covering the much anticipated overhaul of the Mobiglass and Star map, so playing in the Evocati, the Star map's actually functioning pretty well now, and yeah, really happy with that. Thursday also marks the next opening of Jump Town again, so that Jump Town dynamic event. Gather your gear, your ships, and your friends. There's Alpha UEC to be made. Clan Imperium always do a bit of a sale with this as well. They'll be going, look, there's ships that are good for doing Jump Town and vehicles. Get involved. Last but not least, Thursday has a deluge of information heading your way to prepare you for this year's CitizenCon in Manchester. We've got info on cosplay, volunteer and community booth applications, and more. So keep an eye on the website if you're planning on attending. I am planning on attending. They haven't sold tickets yet, so maybe they're going to announce when tickets will be available to start being purchased. CIG have said that this year's CitizenCon is going to be the biggest and best ever, so hopefully that is true. It's again a 2-day event on the 19th and 20th of October. I do believe there is a small sort of pre-event thing going on the 18th. It's in Manchester, England, which means I will definitely be attending. Well, I mean, I'm going to try to attend. Friday, we've got Star Citizen Live as well. That's going to be at 3 p.m. UTC. They are having Team Chad on to follow up on talking about HUDs, the shopping experience, visors, all that sort of jazz from the last week's Inside Star Citizen episode. I'm going to be interested if they can talk about sort of future visors they're going to be doing for specific types and roles of armor. So obviously they've got combat visors in 3.23, which can potentially have dynamic crosshairs as part of them. But what other plans do they have? What they have for mining and salvage and medical? Did they have plans for that already? Or they got some other stuff in the work for combat? I'm really interested in that. Also, a little bit confused there, because then it says, get your questions in on cargo, which I think might have been the weeks before. Okay, stuff's a little bit out of joint. That is my bad. That's because there's a week of confusion because they didn't have Star Citizen Live last week. Okay, so it looks like this one's probably going to be on cargo. I got extra confused because the video in the post from CIG links to the most recent Inside Star Citizen, which, that extra confused me. Yeah, so looks like it's probably going to be one about cargo this time. So yeah, really interested about customization that you're going to be able to do with your hangars in this one for sure. Like, exactly what are we going to be able to do with our personal hangars. I love the fact that you can bring up ships while you're in the hangar now and spawn them with the sort of elevator there, and there's a huge amount of those cargo updates. Also interested in like cargo hauling missions and stuff like that. Not sure if they're going to be able to focus on that, saying they haven't done an episode specifically on that yet, but those sort of changes to the hangars with freight elevators and all that jazz as well, it really changes up how cargo works, because there's no sort of insta spawn of loot on your ship anymore. You have to either pay for loading and unloading, which has a time and a cost associated with it, or do it manually yourself. There was a new Evocati patch for 3.23, and yeah, it seems to have fixed a huge amount of problems. They've introduced some randomization for creature spawning so they don't get duplicated on server crash recovery, because you don't want dozens of Copians swarming you, causing game issues or crashing the server because the server's a bit confused what's going on there. A ton of bug fixes for AI and spawn closets, flashing artifacts, failed transactions, AR markers disappearing, Copian and Marak, the animals not spawning, ASOP terminals becoming unusable, Gladius emitting a high-pitched sound, and we also had 14 client crashes, 10 server crashes, and a memory corruption issue for servers solved. Now, there does appear to be some other stuff in that Evocati patch. It is a lot better. It's getting better. It's plodding towards sort of a Wave 1 PTU. They're starting to refine that stuff. Potentially there's been some LOD or viewing distance updates, or well, both, I suppose, in this patch. I've only just noticed them. You can see stuff quite far away now, and stuff's a lot more detailed at distance, or at least it seems that way. And I mean, you can see like planets and lights and lots of other things very far away as well. So that's quite cool, because it makes you feel like you can actually go to those places and you can see the astral bodies a bit better. Also, there appear to be some solid lighting improvements too, or at least different lights. They look better, and I can noticing the lights and the reflections of, or refraction of the light more. But this might just be because I was flying around Crusader and Microtech more than I previously had. Clouds look better, stuff like that. A couple of sort of dev responses here. 9-second death animations are a problem, not hit registration, was one of the server threads I saw. The OP here sort of said, well, let me squish down the sentiments of the original poster and some of what other people said on the thread. It's unclear if an enemy is dead or being dramatic when you take them out because of these very long animations. It can cause some gameplay issues, and it's not realistic. You don't know if they're taken out or not, and they can be bullet sponges or whatever. So Zach Priest said, this is something we've been looking at recently, funnily enough, and hopefully we'll be able to share some updates with you soon. That's awesome. I want better animations and a better sort of general experience of running around and shooting people, because I'm okay with some dramatic animations sometimes, but it should be like the 5%, right? It should be quite rare when that sort of stuff happens. Mirrors was another thread I saw with the original poster saying, I know working mirrors in games is difficult to implement because of the text and graphics draw stuff. How does the team feel today about the future of implementing working mirrors versus years before? Ben Parry responded here, while the options have widened, where we stand, there are still significant challenges. Basically, there are 3 options. I'll put the challenges below. Render to texture, number one. This is like doing a comms call video wall with some extra work to track your viewpoint and mirror the content. Mirroring the content is harder than it might sound because trivially mirroring the mesh also turns it inside out. That can be fixed by switching the culling mode, but if I remember right, that would mean that we need extra pipeline state objects compiled for everything that might ever appear in the mirror view. CPU time. We spend quite a lot of CPU work selecting objects in view and delivering them to the GPU. If you place a mirror in a busy scene, you effectively have to do the same work again in the mirrored direction. This can be mitigated by telling the art teams to only ever place the mirrors in tiny bathrooms, etc., but doing so would make them sad. RTT memory. If you go up close to a mirror, you're effectively asking for a full screen RTT, render to texture video, so we have to allocate all the memory that entails. 2. Another option. Portal trickery. This is like render to texture, but instead of being a video screen, the mirror is a clever portal that sees a mirrored copy of the world. This is the Duke Nukem way. As for A and B, it has the same problems as render to texture. And C, clipping things near the mirror surface. You don't want meshes from the mirror universe poking out into ours, so there's an extra challenge there. Things like fog volumes don't have a precise clipping edge. We already have enough trouble with that, so we might have to solve issues with double fogging. 3. Another solution. Ray tracing. Bounce rays off the mirror. Job done. Cost. It's impossible to stop the player from filling the screen with a reflective surface, so for a pixel perfect reflection, we'd need one ray per pixel dedicated to reflections. We could upscale or do temporal stuff, but that means a smeary reflection. Quality. When the GI team gets onto glossy reflections, we're likely to be making some kind of cost/quality trade-off that looks fine on standard shiny but imperfect objects, but becomes strikingly obvious when you have a perfect image of it. However, something that's unavoidable when they start to move on to glossy reflections is that their hands are going to be forced a little. Regardless of whether something's intended as a mirror, super shiny surfaces are going to start reflecting things, so it's just a question of how good those reflections are going to look and what we do if we don't like what we see. Interestingly, I did just see another thread. Idris Unbeatable, Javelin not helping, basically saying they can't beat Pirate Swarm because the Javelins turn up and they don't actually help. There's some AI problems there. The DJ Button, CIG, actually responded here. Indeed, the Idris received a balance pass of 3.22, which also affected the Pirate Idris at the end of the Swarm mode. Additionally, as the original poster mentioned, the UEE Javelins that arrive to help you have a known issue with the AI not behaving properly at all. While we're investigating the AI/Javelin issue, we've updated the UEE response fleet to include a new flagship with more than enough firepower to help you combat the pirate fleet. Thank you all for reporting this. That sounds exciting, but boom! That's it for your updates today. I am really interested. Are you excited for Alpha 3.23? Are you looking forward to the cargo updates? Are you going to be asking some questions of CIG in this week's Star Citizen Live, or just being sort of interested in tuning in when they answer them? Are you going to be getting involved with the Overdrive initiative? What do you think any additional rewards could be? Do you think it's just going to be armor and flare and stuff, or do you think maybe it's something different, like more ship upgrades and things like that? Are you an RSI voluntary subscriber, or is that too expensive or just unnecessary to you? Whatever your thoughts or questions, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Also, if you find out what the new flagship is, because I haven't seen anything. I had a quick fiddle a second ago. Tell me what it is. Is it actually in 3.22.1 now, or is it going to be in 3.23? Zin, she's ill still. She's appendicitis. She's off for another couple of days. So outro-wise, you're going to have to make do with me going, get NordVPN. It's in the links below. You should click it because NordVPN is a great VPN and helps the channel as well. I mean, only get it if you actually want to get a VPN, but click the links. And we've got things like Game Glass below as well, and Tobii eye trackers, and money off them. You get deals. Look at the links below. Click on all of them and buy some of them. This week's ship giveaway is for a F7C Hornet Mark II. You should comment on all my videos to be in for a chance of winning that. It's a cool ship, and yeah, Overdrive Initiative, you can potentially even upgrade that to an F7A. Also comes with lifetime insurance and a game package, so that's good as well. A massive thank you to everyone that supports the channel, be that liking videos, commenting on them, sharing them. There are also people that go the extra mile. These are amazing people that become Patreons or use the join button under my YouTube videos to become channel members. You'll occasionally get some exclusive content, Discord roles, and behind the scenes posts. It's those people with those memberships that allow us to make the daily Star Citizen content that we do. So please consider joining those awesome folks as well. Thank you for watching until the very end. It is genuinely appreciated, and I hope you have a great March.